Hello, Supreme Commanders, friends, and those on YouTube who've randomly gone and clicked. Welcome to today's 5 versus 5 taken here on the old Neuroxis map gen. And if we take a little look there, see exactly how big the map that we're dealing with today. There we go, is a 13.75 thanks to the Neuroxis. 5 versus 5. This is the first time ever that I've casted a game where the lobby, the FAF Lobby, says the game is rated 1560. Supreme Scoreboard says both teams are rated 1560. So it's the first time we've really had a match, which is kind of unusual, seen as the FAF Lobby takes the exact rating and Supreme Scoreboard rounds each player off to the nearest 100 and then averages that out. So it's like an average of the average, which obviously doesn't always match. In any case, today we're going to go with the US of A. And so team number 1 over here in the upper west side, we're going to go as Seattle. So in the very northwestern corner of the US, if we ignore Alaska. And coming down here on the lower east side, we're going to go with the Florida area, specifically Miami. So Seattle versus Miami. Let's go ahead and start introducing our players then for today. We'll start over here in red with Luca, is the highest rated player in today's game. A 2000 rated Seraphim there, going first land in Ferrari red. Moving to his north, the second player for Team Seattle in electric blue, we've got Ego Noob, a 1400 rated there in Cybran, going first land. Further in the rear with gear today is Battle Moose from the Australia-New Zealand clan, but is temporarily on loan to Seattle for today. In pink, a 1500 Cybran, also going first land. Moving to his right in grey, we've got Hell Trottil, I believe, in Seraphim there. We'll refer to him as Hell. He's going first land, a 1200 rated. And then last but not least, in Cyan, we have XLEBLLI Cobb. I think we're just going to refer to him as Cobb. He's UEF. At least he knows how to pick a faction, even if he can't figure out how to pick a name. 1700 rated, going first land there as the UEF, as we've said. Switching over then to Team Miami, further down to the south, we have over here Vist, a 1800, also going Seraphim there, khaki green. First and second air, it would seem, already busy loading up a transport, so we'll slow down time just a tad for a moment so we can see what happens there. Further to the south, we've got Trigram for Heaven in white. I think we'll refer to him as Heaven. He is the Seraphim there, 1000 rated, also going first land. Moving further south in sky blue is Miami's air player, Happy Song, also Seraphim, also going first and second air. It would seem 1700 rated. Lots of Seraphim players today. Moving slightly towards the front then, we have Wooker in highlighter pen colour, shall we say. A UEF, a 1400 nonetheless, also going first and then last but not least is Zayo, a 1900 rated player in brown, going first, second and third, what looks like fourth land as well. Cyber player 1900, as we said, the second highest rated player in the game today, the highest rated for his team. And so picking back up full pace, taking a look over here, it would appear that our first little raid is underway from Cobb, going into Vist's main base. And so far not being able to pick up a single kill, and actually doesn't manage a kill. A second mech marine making its way through there with a scout. That doesn't look like it's going to get much done. I'm far more interested in the landlocked plateau up here. Both players desperately trying to make a play for it, and you can see why. There are 5 mass points on the plateau on each side, and so whoever wins that, there's going to be 10. And just before we do get any further in the game, if we take a look at the reclaim values there, we can see there is thousands of mass to be had. If we just click on a player's name temporarily, we can see there's about 29,000 mass on the map at this moment in time. So there will have been a little bit more. And so at 4 minutes, one thing, I did have a request on the latest video, maybe it was the one before, and I had quite a few upvotes for it, so, you know, your wish is my command. Rub me up the right way, you'll get your wish. Rub me up the wrong way, well, you'll see what happens. And it is that the mass income column is locked on, so no longer will we cycle between income, reclaim, and in storage. It is fixed on the incomes. I can of course manually click, we can take a look, but I will of course always put it back there. So there you go, each player, their current income as well as the team totals down there. And so with this, gotta say, Vist's play for the plateau looks a lot more aggressive. We see so far got 6 land factories, working on the 7th. He's capped his mass points off. The opponent yet has not, and the opponent here, Cobb, is on his 4th land factory, working on the 5th. We see Vist actually getting units into the other side. At least Cobb does have a couple of point defense back here to prevent any complete overruns, but he's going to want to catch up with the production there from Vist, somewhat sharpish. Take a look further down here, Luca versus Zayo. They're getting well stuck in at this moment in time. Both still bare at this moment in time, both with escorting units. Luca is, of course, the slightly higher of the two, just 100 points or so ahead, at least rounded off. We see Ego Noob here, tipping in just 3 or 4 units, just enough to be annoying, especially when your player is completely task saturated on a 1v1 with the strongest player. Taking another look in the central region. Ego Noob having a stab breaking through the 50-way mark versus Heaven. Does have a few units in tow. Wooker trying to deal with some of those excess units. Wooker, who is currently fixed to the spot, getting a gun upgrade. He's 60% there, is assisted with an engineer. Does have a second assist in, and looks like he will have the energy to complete that very soon. Can't come soon enough for Heaven, who is currently holding off versus one commander, but is heavily outnumbered with the units there. Check further north. Hell is still bare and hasn't really done too much yet. Bit further on, and Cobb looking to break through on the land by the side of this plateau with the commander, not with the gun upgrade. Vist backing off, Cobb with a lot of units here, and Vist with almost no units on the land. So as Vist looks like he's having a lot of luck up on the plateau, Cobb down here looks like he's having luck on the land. Cobb, incidentally, is 17, Vist 18. So again, another 100-point disparity, this time favouring Miami. Check back over here. Lucas pushed Zayo all the way back with a few units there. Zayo also routed to the spot, is getting an upgrade on the ACU, a Tech 2. Does have his pal here, Happy Song, the first time we've seen this guy make his way to the front. And so that is going to make this particular area here a 2 versus 1. Focusing back in on mid, lots of action, big wide open map, encourages it. Look at first player that we've seen with the gun online. Ego Noob trying to shut him down with a superior number of units. Ego, who does not have the gun. And at 8 minutes 20, I think we're going to have to split the screens for the first time, because I really want to see what is going on with the plateau. Plateau then in the north, or sorry, on the right half of your screen. And we'll focus on these down here on the left side, the central area. Okay, again with the gun, but he is outnumbered. He is trying to get point defense to fall back to, which is hugely important. He does have Luca pressing in as well with some units. Ego Noob, despite his heavy damage, is continuing to press into Wooker. Wooker, who has the gun. And we do see here, what have we? A Cerberus turret also favouring Seattle, and so Wooker's going to have to continue to back off, but at some point so is Ego Noob. We do see here the units belonging to Luca will continue to put the pressure on Wooker, and Ego Noob now forced to back off sub 3,000. Vis continuing to put the pressure on up here with a far superior number of units. The only reason he can't overrun is thanks to these point defense. Let's go ahead, put the score back on. Check back over here. Looks like a little bit of pressure now. Versus Luca. Luca elected to go for the tech, not for the gun. Despite being Seraphim, didn't get both. He's going for tech 2 point defense. Happy Song with his bareness is deciding to go in. Overcharges the point defense. Luca's attempting to repair it, but a second overcharge puts a stop onto that. We'll continue to focus in over here. It does look like Vist is eventually going to win this spot. Still on a 2 versus 1 situation. Happy Song attempting to tie up Luca while the other commander with the tech puts Cerberus turrets down. Check back in the mid. Wooker, oh, he's got to be careful. He's got Cerberus fire tickling away his commander. He's sub 2,000 hit points, gun or otherwise. Still looking up there. There's still lots of jostling going on. Tell you what, if there's ever a time that Cobb could do with some help, perhaps a few bombers, now is that time. Walker! 800, 700, 600 hit points, 500. He's got to back off, by goodness, Walker. That was close. The Cerberus turret would have tickled him to death given a few more seconds. And with that 11 minutes... we could arguably say the opening stages of the game more or less coming to a conclusion. I think we'll go ahead, switch back to single screen at this moment in time. Cobb here with a few more units than last time we looked, but Vist actually dominating there. The upper plateau actually nabbed his opponent's mass points. Take a look down here as Ego Noob starting to press through. See there, Rook actually backed way off outside of his shield. Got to be careful, certainly at this stage of the game. Actually see a Tech 3 spy plane over here from Battle Moose, but I was thinking more a Tech 2 could easily snipe. Ego Noob making a play for this central area, belonging to Miami at this moment in time. Shield collapses, has not been destroyed, but does collapse. And Wooker again just studying. I'm surprised doesn't try and get a Tech 2 upgrade or something to get some hit points back on. Further to the north, Hell versus Heaven, or Heaven versus Hell should we say, but Hell knocking on Heaven's door. Heaven responding with a huge run of tanks here, perhaps not the best formation ever. Hell does have the gun, but Heaven, I beg your pardon, is about to come back with the gun splash damage. I think my girlfriend would appreciate me referring to her as this. Although at least it was the Heaven one, so, you know, maybe I could just about get away with it. And at 12 minutes, 34 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, we take a look at the teams now real quick. That is what Team 1 Seattle can see, and Team 2 down here in blue, Miami. Upgrade there complete for Heaven. Solid base here for Wooker. Fire base, point defense, shield is going to want to get more attack missile defense, which he is doing. Ego Noob, the first one to think to get Tech 2 on the line, specifically mobile missile launchers, outranging those Tech 2 point defense belonging to the UEF. And the only response really, especially if you don't have any attack missile launchers of your own to return the favor, is attack missile defense. Further to the north, the jostling still taking place up here. A decision here from Cobb to switch to Tech 2, and he's going for pillars and so forth. Again, versus superior units. I just wonder, does Cobb have the eco? Not really. He doesn't really have the eco to fund what he's doing here. A little further down, the two players from Florida working in cahoots versus Luca, having some success with their mobile missile launchers. But back to the center, the Heaven versus Hell. And at 14 minutes, these two players are going toe-to-toe. Heaven does have the splash damage upgrade, and Hell appears to be in a spot of bother here, and Hell is taken out. 14 minutes. Heaven literally defeats Hell. With it, the first player goes down, and Miami are up 5 versus 4. Base gets handed over again. Luca in control, not necessarily sure it's the best idea, and Luca agrees, hands the base over to Cobb. Luca, despite being the highest rated players, of course, focused on the engagement over here. And this is actually a nice decision to hand the base to Cobb, because Cobb looks like he's almost all but lost the plateau, and there's no way he's going to be able to compete versus a player who defeated him on plateau, gets all that eco when he was already struggling, as we saw in eco. Meanwhile, we come down to the central regions, and Heaven continues to break through. The gun with the rate of fire and the splash damage, the Seraphim, incredibly powerful. Look how quick it can just deal with big solid structures like land factories. Just a few shots without even an overcharge, and they are gone. Heaven now coming up versus Cobb. Again, just able to just demolish, and yeah, Cobb's got no choice. He's got to back off his Tech 2, but he's got no gun. But even with the gun, wouldn't be up to much. An Ego Noob, the first player to realise, right, well, gun upgrade or not, he can't shoot down the aircraft. And with it, chuck some T1 bombers Heaven's way. I always did say that apparently Satan ruled the air, or at least the airwaves. I can't remember which, or the sky, but whichever. Heaven is definitely struggling in that department. Eating a lot of Tech 1 bomber fire there. You see they are slowly but surely going through his hit points. And to make a bad situation worse here for Heaven, Cobb chucking fuel onto the fire, sends in some Tech 2 fighter bombers, the Otham fighter bombers. So there's multiple air to ground now. And Heaven just 4,500 hit points. He was looking so strong just 30 seconds ago. Sub 2,500. Battle Moose rolls onto the scene with some ASF. Very much needed. And has got to finish this off. Heaven now sub 2,000. Come on, man. 1,900. 17, 12. That's it. Dance, dance, dance. I still question where the ASF is from Battle Moose. Battle Moose really not paying attention here. Heaven's going to have to dance. He's sub 1,000 there for a moment. Happy Song was paying attention. Rushes up some Tech 1 anti-air. Ego Noob's trying to pursue the commander. Just needs a few shots to get the kill. Heaven's hit points are back over 1,000. 2 more bombers coming through here. They are going to fly over the anti-air there from Happy Song. They do get shot down. Do any of them get a bomb away? I don't think so. With it, I think Heaven there is going to live for another day. There was a strat bomb we saw there from Happy Song. That was taken out. Another strat bomb here from Battle Moose will pursue that. That's shot down with the wrong one remaining ASF there from Happy Song. And so very, very close indeed. I did say that Battle Moose weren't paying attention. I think he was probably too busily tied up with some micro fighting there from Happy Song. But if ever there was a time that your ally could have done with even just one ASF, that was it. Heaven almost going down. Very clutch, and I have to say, Happy Song there, I think, saved him with these anti-air turrets. I think those Tech 1 bombers would have got him. 18 minutes, coming up to 30 seconds. Let's take a look at the totalizers then. 372 versus 340 in favor of Miami. So the team down here ever so slightly ahead. 10% or so over the course of the game. Tick for tick, that looks pretty much actually a lot even better. 680 versus 520. Taking a look now on the west side, Luca, the 2K rated in Ferrari Red, deciding to press versus Miami. Two commanders in there, Zayo as well as Happy Song, and there's a lot of Tech 2 here. Zooey Artillery as well as Otham Siege Tanks. And Zayo stood outside the shield there, gets a rank of vet. Zayo does not have the gun, he's Tech 2, and finds himself completely surrounded. Zayo, the highest rated player on his team, suddenly finds himself primaried there. And at 19 minutes 30 seconds is taken out. Happy Song remains. The splash damage thankfully takes out a lot of the units there. And so Happy Song, the 17. Oh, look at this. A beautifully timed snipe there from Battle Moose. Surgical wind precision. As soon as the defensive units are taken out, he sends two strap bombers in. Happy Song turns round, faces a barrage of sniper bots. And at this moment, the only question is, whose munition gets there first? And with it, Miami lose two players inside 30 seconds. Nice recovery there. Making it a 4 versus 3, favoring Seattle. Monkey Lord under construction from Ego Noob for Seattle. I have to see if that one completes and if it is the first one that comes online. So see Vist here drawing some lines with his walls. Decides, you know, he was a little weak on below the plateau, so wall it off, focus on above the plateau. And actually here we see, this is the risk here when the, the lower player dominates up here. Mobile missile launchers, artillery, point defense, basically eradicating the base there that did belong to Cobb. That was Cobb's original base. The rest was handed off to him, and Luca doing the this is a real nice mix here from the Seraphim. Mobile shields to cover the weak sniper bots, Otham siege tanks in case anything runs, and just formation march up. Look at them just tearing to shreds anything that they come across. Ego Noob having a go at some of the units up here. There's a lot of weaker units there, a lot of spam mobile missile launchers. In fact, Vist there electing to detonate some of the excessive units he doesn't need, perhaps denying some of the vets. We also have a sneaky strap bomb here from Battle Moose. Just wonder, is Vist aware of it? Well, he will be now. We didn't see it, and he will have seen it there. The question is, does it register? We'll just focus on him for a moment or two. I don't think it did, so we'll go back to global view. Look at there trying to pick up some of these units, and the strap bomb there making a move for Battle Moose. It continues down. It's like he's going for a bit of a ground attack, seeing if he can benefit from some of the splash damage. Takes out both the mass extractor as well as 3 or 4 anti-air units. And the Monkey Lord now from Seattle bears down onto Wooker's main base, or main forward operating base, should we say. Monkey Lord is escorted with a ton of bricks. You have a few purses over here from Wooker. He's going to want to redirect those. And what was a very strong fire base knocks the Monkey Lord to below half health, to its credit. Monkey Lord there gets its first rank of vet. Come on, man. Wooker's killed most of it. He needs some assistance. A couple of strap bombs. Something to get rid of this Monkey Lord before it's allowed to vettle further. It's still only a 1-star. Heaven tipping in a load of spam. Not sure that's the best decision. Monkey Lord does have a few bricks. Monkey Lord now able to go after some of these other structures. That's going to get it up to a Tech 2, surely. Or should I say a second rank of vet. Monkey Lord, I like this decision here from Ego Noob. He realizes Monkey Lord is on quite low health. Why not continue throwing it in? Wooker here with the gun. Oh, he's low health, and the Monkey Lord gets him. I really thought Wooker was going to go for the overcharge. Whether he did or he didn't have quite enough energy, I don't know. But it was a brave, ballsy decision. And with it, did he take out the Monkey Lord? He did not. The Monkey Lord is now rank 2. Second rank of vet, should we say. Oh man, 24 minutes. Luca breaking through on the south side. 2 players out APM'd 2-1. All else being equal. So Miami really have their work cut out for them. We've got Ego Noob breaking through in the middle with that Monkey Lord. And it is well escorted. The Monkey Lord, of course, with its long range abilities. And it's only a few months away from its 3rd start. A well-timed chicken here. A well-timed chicken from Vist here breaking through. There's a Monkey Lord under construction there in the base that was handed off to Vist. That's gone down. Luca continues to press, leading the way with the siege tanks, backed up with the sniper bots. And right now I'm seeing almost nothing here from Miami that's able to stop it. Monkey Lord from Ego Noob. Again, he's not just throwing it in. He's, going careful. It's a 3-star. But the chicken here from this does finally pick it up. Somebody was asking for more cinematics last time. Whoops, I was going to say there you go, and then I go and ruin it by moving the mouse instead of the keyboard. Chicken does defeat the Monkey Lord, and then the bricks with it that is escorting. Luca continuing to press down here, and at 25 minutes 40 seconds. Oh, beautiful here. Look at this. This trying to get an experimental bomber online over here. And a few Ilshis make it through, tearing up some of his build capacity. One still remains. Fist does respond with some Tech 2 point defense. That does deal with that. But the real problem here, if you are rooting for Miami, got the armies down here from Luca. Cobb breaking through with a bunch of artillery Zooey spam. That'll deal with the economic structures. We've got a bunch of rhinos here versus a lot of Tech 3 mass points capped off. No defense whatsoever. To have the chicken here from Vist electing to break out rather than retreat. That's going to pick up these engineers. There is a Monkey Lord down there. We see the attack down here from Luca finally petering out. Vist was able to get enough purses and some Tech 1 bombers. So let's focus on this battle. This one seems crucial for the minute. Chicken versus Monkey Lord. It's going to be close. Chicken just gets it, and with it 1 rank of vet. And that will now be able to pick off some of these other units. And if Seattle don't get there quick, that chicken will be allowed to vet up. We see it's not too far off from its 2nd rank. And now the Tech 1 bombers from Vist rediverted north. Oh my goodness, how quick did that build? We only checked up here about a minute ago. The thing is online. Like, we checked a minute ago, it's like 10%. Vist must have ecos coming out of his ears. Gonna have to follow the experimental bomber for a moment or so. An experimental bomber moves in. I just wondered, does Seattle, are they aware of it? Well, they are now. There's the ping, and so they see the bomber together with the escort. 15 kills, 4,700 mass on that first bomb. Just wondering. Oh, they do have some ASF. Battle Moose returns to base, realizes the threat has got to be his base. Battle Moose has actually got a real nice grid, well under construction here. And I guess this says, I know. Why do you think I'm ground firing right in the middle? And Battle Moose says, there's that caster, and he says, I don't get why you don't put a shield over the base. And, I always laughed at him, but, once in a while, I wish I listened. Even if it was just one shield, it would prevent the chain reaction from spreading. If it was a big shield, it would absorb the first bomb. Unsure there if Corb died genuinely to a Control K, or if it was a disconnect, or perhaps it was he was stood too close to a fusion reactor. In any case, the experimental bomber does appear to have been shot down. The hole there remains. I beg your pardon, the experimental bomber lives. It's gone way down south. We're going to have to continue following it on. The first bomb did hit in Luca's base. Luca has gone to rush with his SAM sights. Realizing he's not got air, he's got to build stuff that shoots. He's got lightning tanks. And the experimental bomber at least perhaps isn't aware Luca's stood right there. Goes for one in Luca's main base. Drops one off. Very nice. 129 kills so far. Is just below half health, having got its third rank of vet. I just wondered, does Vist have any idea? No, he doesn't, that the commander is right there. I guess he assumes the commander must be there. Look at this. Vist goes for a ground fire in the pond. He has to have assumed that Luca is stood there. Why else would you ground fire there? Luca actually stood at the other end. The SAM sites continue to get built. The experimental bomber and returning now to get these mass points. Tech 2 continues to fly over SAM sites. Very successful bomb right over the commander there. Luca now with an experimental unit of his own is responding with lightning tanks. And the experimental bomber, where it's twisting and turning, Battlemoose throws what few ASF he has into it to try and shoot it down. Experimental bomber now with 14,000 hit points and now is ground firing directly over Luca's position. And it connects. Luca with just 2,500 hit points left. The experimental bomber continues to twist and turn. Sub 10,000 hit points now, but it is a 3-star, as we've said. Just one more bomb on Luca, and he will go down. But again, I don't think Vist actually knew the commander was there. It was more guesswork. He's trying to get his bomber out of dodge. And in 30 minutes, 40 seconds, the bomber, almost makes it, but is shot down. Seattle will be relieved at that. We'll focus back in on the center, where Vist has gotten a chicken right deep. Takes out a monkey that is under construction, but does run into a chicken from Luca. And with it goes down. The plasma ball will cause a bit of damage. Luca's already aware of that, splitting his units away. We also have an aggressive megalith here that's half health from Seattle, thanks to Ego Noob. That takes out a chicken, also from Vist. And currently Megalith is eating a bit of Ion Fire together with the Percy Fire. I think actually that Megalith is at risk of going down. See these Percys. I think they're going to get it. I don't believe it. Megalith ain't got the quite angle right. The gunner complaining. You point in the wrong way, and with it goes down. Tease off the music just a tad there. And so at 31 minutes, 40 coming up to 50 seconds. Let's take a look at the totals overall. 1.23 million versus 1.15, favoring Seattle now. So there's been a little twist in fortune. Benefits going the other way, around 9 or so % ahead. Luca down here with 2 chickens closed in versus Vist's single chicken. Did I just see a notification of another... Oh no, he's starting to build it now. I'm sure I saw a notification for a bomber. Indeed I did. It's waiting there. It's hovering from Vist. I think I'm going to have to pause. Apologies, I hate pausing the game, but there's so much going on at this particular juncture. I'm going to have to... Right screen, we'll focus in on the bomber. We see it moving. Left screen on the experimental action down here. Let's unpause. Heaven gets another experimental online. I just wondered, is Battlemoose aware of the bomber? Well, he will be now. Vist's chicken goes down, and that is a brilliant bomb. Takes out a huge amount of build capacity there, belonging to Luca. Bomber continues to press into Battlemoose's main base, chains off another bomb, and another large percentage of the air grid there going up, and also inflicts a huge amount of damage. Battlemoose with just 1,000 hit points left will have to stay focused on his base. As Luke here with the 2 chickens, well, he won't want to push into that ion storm. Experimental bomber returns. The bomb breaks through the shield, and with it, Battle Moose is down. Bomber there on just 50% health. I like this decision here from Luca. The heavily damaged chicken returns to full health war and continues to press together with some units there from his ally. Seattle pushing deep while Vist returns to... Oh, it's just gotten another experimental bomber online. So this is really an air... or has turned into an air versus land type situation. Miami controlling the skies. Seattle very much pushing the land. Vist forced to send his new bomber down to deal with lots of bricks. The experimental bomb takes out the bricks. The chicken continues to press. Lots of anti-air here, the bouncers from Seattle. It's just too little versus the experimental bomber. The chicken now walks into a wall of Ravagers together with another chicken from heaven. Also on the team there of Miami, and the chicken is down. At least the Iron Storm will inflict a little bit of damage there onto one of the bases belonging to Vist. And with it, first little pause in action where I don't feel like I've got to rush from here, there and everywhere. Just wondering what happened to that other experimental bomber. We know there are at least two of them now. Well, here it is. Drops a perfect bomb there. No friendly damage. All landed on either the Monkey Lord or the escorting units. Perhaps that second bomb wasn't so good. Shaves a huge chunk of hit points off the chicken. So as I like to say, friendly fire ain't. And Vistia continuing to be annoying with just various artillery installations and whatnot. Just to tickle away at Luca's inherited bases there. Another experimental bomb. I think that was an existing ground fire command that is no longer required. And Luca here now pressing through versus Ravagers with Tech 1 artillery. Talk about cost effective. And you can see just how much damage those artilleries, the Zooies, are making before they get destroyed. Another breakthrough, meanwhile, on the eastern side. Chicken, once again belonging to Luca, pushing through. Nice scouting runs here from Vist. Trying to keep a tab on what's what. Yeah, we've got two experimental bombers together with the chicken. We will have to keep track of those. I'm going to have to follow the zoom like this. And it does appear like the bombers are thinking about moving in. Actually going to go after the chicken, what seems like, from Luca, that is getting quite close to what was the original base, I believe, belonging to Vist. I think this was his starting location. Two bombs and a very quick micro away as soon as the bombs are off. Apparently that was the tactic used by the, the real nuclear bombers in World War II. Drop the bomb and then turn tail ASAP. Two more bombs connect with the chicken, brings it to below half health. Does look like Vist's starting location is going to be heavily damaged though in the process. Chicken, almost with its first rank of vet, gets it just before the second bomb connects, and with it buys the chicken a few moments more than he wouldn't have otherwise have had. Vist now, what looks like a third experimental bomber, is about to be online. And I think that's going to be curtains for the chicken. Indeed it is. The Ion Storm may inflict a bit of damage, but actually the majority of the starting base there from Vist is down. Oh my goodness. Look at this siege tank. Hero siege tank, 57 kills. That was, operating while, well, everybody's attention was elsewhere, including mine, I have to say. I shouldn't really have the excuse. I've got global vision. Lots of scouting runs there. Seattle have saturated their side of the map with a lot of anti-air just as well, because it appears here that Vist is making a move with 3 experimental bombers. I should say 3, not free. They're not free. You had to pay a lot of mass out for them. And they're flying right over. There's the pings. And so whoever doesn't know about it does now. We've got another chicken there from Luca about to go online, and what few ASF Seattle have managed to amass. It's like they are prioritising the heavily damaged experimentals first. Unsure exactly what they were firing at there, the very edge. It was a ground fire. Perhaps it was so that when Luca moved it wouldn't upset the targeting facilities. And Luca, the shield has collapsed, is down to just 6,800 hit points. There's another one squarely on his head, and with it, Vist bags Seattle's strongest player, and with it, it's a 1 versus 2 from Seattle's point of view. Miami are in the lead player-wise, but taking a look at the map there, if we take a look from Seattle's point of view, does appear to be well beyond the 50-way mark. Of course, if you don't control air, that doesn't necessarily mean the most in the world. We see a solitary chicken here from Vist that's managed to break through. Eco Noob responding to it with waves of Tech 1 bombers. They will eventually kill it unless, of course, Miami responds, and Miami was thinking about it, and then redirects the fighters for reasons unknown. A huge squad of bouncers there. I just wonder how effective they will be versus experimental bombers. Vist electing to go mass Tech 1 bomber spam. And they are kind of effective versus the bouncers, because the bouncers, as far as I'm aware, can only shoot at one target at a time. And so between the launch and the missile hitting, you know, there's a lot of overkill, shall we call it, or dead time there that allows these bombers to get through, which is why really, you know, the Tech 2 flak unit never expires, no matter how long the game goes on for. Chicken here from Vist getting far too deep. Still got pretty high health. Walks into a base there inherited by Ego Noob. Was working on a chicken. That goes down. There's a bunch of point defense here. They're going to go down with the next plasma splash or so. Meanwhile, Ego Noob's repaying the favor, rolling Fat Boy experimental units through. Tech 1 bombers going after the Fat Boys, as well as a huge breakout here from Trigram for Heaven. And that's going to force Ego Noob surely to retreat, and he actually doesn't, or is too late. Not sure actually if instead of retreating he'd somehow accidentally set up to attack the wall. Either way, the Fat Boy there is down. Vist, who has moved his commander up onto the plateau, perhaps a safer place to be when you've got chickens roaming around all over the shop. We've got another chicken here. Oh, this could be this was actually the same chicken that's still breaking through. Does now have a bunch of Corsair fighter bombers after it, as well as a chicken from Ego Noob that he's had to bring back from somewhere. Over 200 kills, that specific chicken. Another experimental bomber there from Vist. I don't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying the game, you know what to do. Solitary siege tank there with 19 kills. It's a 5-star. 21,000 mass. That one siege tank has killed. Very, very cost effective. Lots of bomber activity. I realize I'm zoomed out a lot. This chicken over here has finally been taken care of. This time, Monkey Lord, Megalith, and Fat Boy. That is a nice unit mix. And again, make use of the mobile factory. It's easy to do. The experimental bomber here from Vist moving in. Goes after the nuke defense. Takes it out in one shot. That appears to have been its primary target. The experimental bomber's eating an awful lot of anti-air fire. Sub 10,000 hit points, and if Ego Noob pursues with his ASF, he's surely going to be able to one-shot it. But I fear that it won't matter much because, well, if you're risking to throw away an experimental just to kill one anti-nuke, well, I suspect that's what it was there for to do. Ego Noob continues to pursue the experimental bomber with 8,000 hit points, and surely he's going to get it. And get it, he does. The experimental bomber there from Vist down. And there goes the nuke. And it's actually fired directly into the path where Ego Noob's walking. Ego Noob, I don't know if he's got a crystal ball or just a healthy dose of common sense, but either way, does a 180. Oh, look at this one here. Chicken gotten in right deep there from this space, and looks like that's going to be a finalized move. Also a bunch of air here. And here goes the nuke. That would have connected with Ego Noob's commander. Instead connects with, well, not very much. A solitary mass point. Beautiful reads. Fighter bombers as well as strap bombers here. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. A lot of hovering when they could be bombing. And with it, I'm not sure they would have killed Vist. I'm sure they would have gotten a little more done.
Strategic launch detected.
Second nuke out now from Vist in as many minutes. And this one right into a forward operating base. We've got Fat Boy, we've got Chicken. What is a very strong front door there. That is preventing the units here from Heaven breaking through. And I suspect, well, the nuke's knocked on the door. Heaven, you can go break right on in, and there is nothing, almost nothing to stop. That was a really, really nice read there. Well played, Vist. Ego Noob continuing to make use of these artillery. And look, they're going to do it. Look at it. The Ravagers, I'm not sure why they're not firing, if there's a shortage of energy or this just don't have intel at this specific moment in time. This too, I thought it'd be working on another experimental bomber. Actually is not for once. Oh, very nice. Full health. Chicken gotten right into Heaven's base. Heaven responding with urgent point defense construction. He's got multi-layered shields. I don't know why you're turning around. You can't dodge beam weapons. You may as well just go for it. And Ego Noob doing precisely that. It's a 3-star. He's right in the middle of Heaven's base. Love the tactic there from Heaven to build mobile shields to try and absorb some of the damage that the Chicken is inflicting, as well as some of what the Ion Storm's going to do. That was a masterful stroke there from Ego Noob. Like it very much. Tell you one player who didn't like it. That's Heaven himself. He decides to punch back. Look at those lightning tanks just shred the air. I do maintain they are my favourite Tech 3 anti-air unit, and that shows you why. Got a few strats from Ego Noob circling here. I mean, he's got 8. But if he does manage to get position on a commander, especially if the commander's exposed, that would be useful. Just as the Chicken here deals with some of the spam. Here's the Ego Noob's breaking through in the center this time. Very strong shielded up fire bases. The defending Chicken is down. I think once again, gonna have to split the screens just for a sec as Heaven breaks through.
Strategic launch detected.
At the same time down here, it's Ego Noob, another nuke out. Monkey Lord goes down, Megalith's still alive. Siege tank still breaking through. There's a nuke defense. Desperate requests there from Vis to take out the nuke defense. He does so in the nick of time. The nuke's breaking on through. Vis responding to the experimentals once again with Tech 1 spam. Bricks here tying up the defenses. We've got Fat Boy in tow. And the siege tanks here. Let's have a look. Where's that nuke going to connect? One of the main bases. And it does connect. Siege tanks just, they're not stopping for naught. They're just continuing. Well placed Fat Boy there. Does look like that is going to conclude the fire base. Requests to get this to deal with the Fat Boy, and deal with it he does. Look at all those Tech 1 bombers. Look at the Fat Boy's shields crumble there as the Tech 1 bombers unload. And once that shield's down, the Fat Boy dies extremely quickly. For reasons unknown, Vist aborts. Leaves the Fat Boy online. So much going on. Another Chicken taken out. Oh, what's this? No! Ego Noob has made his way to the front line. Vist picks him up. A huge wave of Tech 1 bombers. They take out half his health. This has surely got to be a misclick. Ego Noob starts dancing for days. Dance he must. I mean, for goodness sake, get on your side of the map. Almost doesn't matter what happens down here now. Another huge wave of Tech 1 bombers. Ego Noob has left his dancing shoes at home on this occasion. And a huge number of Tech 1 bombs connects with the commander at 48 minutes, 18 seconds. Vist wins the game for Miami. And with it, I guess it's time for, what's his face? What are they called? Where are they called? Seattle. To bow out, yeah. Just that little place that nobody's ever heard of. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I hope very much you enjoyed the game today. As always, a huge thanks to the patrons who help support what I do here on the channel. I recently uploaded the 19th game over there, so if you haven't already seen it, do go to check it out. And in any case, wherever in the world you may be, from me here deep inside the UK, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. See ya.